大家好，最近几年啊，有很多洛杉矶的华人家庭都越来越关心社区安全的问题，包括了零元购、青少年的问题、街头暴力，还有社区与警方之间的关系啊，这些都是大家经常讨论的话题。未来的洛杉矶到底会变成什么样呢？今天我们非常高兴地邀请到了一位正在竞选洛杉矶县警长的重要候选人 Eric Strong。Eric Strong 拥有超过30年的执法经验，曾经在巡逻、SWAT 特警、内部调查、青少年项目以及社区合作等多个部门任职。他出生成长于洛杉矶县。今天呢，我们也想和他聊一聊华人社区最关心的话题啊，包括了社区安全、青少年的问题，以及未来洛杉矶县警察局的发展方向啊。Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. We are very happy to have you here.
Hi, good morning, Candace. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Eric， 首先有很多华人观众可能是今天是第一次认识您哈，可不可以先请您简单的介绍一下自己呢？包括您的成长背景，为什么决定当警察呢？以及为什么决定竞选这次洛杉矶县的警长？First of all, many Chinese people in the Chinese community may be hearing about you for the first time today. Could you please introduce yourself, including your background? What inspired you to go to law enforcement, and why you decided to run for Los Angeles County Sheriff?
Well, yes, my name is Eric Strong, and I was born right here, born and raised here in LA County, and I've been in law enforcement for 32 years, and I've worked actually 4 different agencies throughout that career. I started my career with the Compton Police Department back in the early 90s. I worked a lot of tactical teams, SWAT, gangs, was a field training officer, a gang investigator, worked patrol, and I moved to Pasadena Police Department for a very short period of time. And then I eventually was absorbed into the LA County Sheriff's Department, where I spent the majority of my career working with youth programs, working internal affairs, unit commander for audit and accountability, obviously worked patrol, courts, custody, some of the basics. But I spent a lot of time behind the curtain in internal oversight. I finished my career as a chief of campus safety and security operations with LA County Probation. And I really got into law enforcement not knowing that I was going to be in it 32 years. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an attorney. And I thought that was going to be my goal. I was going to go into law. And I actually had a job at a law firm one time as an intern. And I was bored. I was just, it was too much of sitting inside a legal library. So I said, let me join law enforcement, learn it from that side, do it 5 or 6 years, and then maybe I'll go back to school, get my law degree, and go practice law. But I got into it, and I loved it, and here we are 32 years later. I'm running because, unfortunately, where the Sheriff's Department is right now, it does not have to be. What we're seeing in the department in terms of the inhumane conditions in the jail, the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability, the lawsuits that are going on, the fact that people are leaving at an enormous rate because they just don't want to work for this current administration. I know where the opportunities lie and where we can make some significant changes that are going to improve relationships with the community engagement, create better public safety, and just create better conditions so that, you know, our people are not paying, the taxpayer dollars are not paying hundreds of millions of dollars to defend deputy misconduct and taking deputies off the street. So that's the main reason that I'm running.
好，非常感谢 Eric 的介绍。其实刚才 Eric 也说到了很多华人都非常关注的一些社区安全的问题，包括了入室盗窃、商家的安全、街头的治安，还有儿童的安全等等哈。我想请问一下 Eric， 如果说您未来当选了洛杉矶县的警长，您最希望优先改善哪些问题呢？ Eric, over the past few years, many families in the Chinese community have become increasingly concerned about public safety issues, including burglaries, business safety, neighborhood crime, and the safety of children. What are the biggest concerns you have been hearing from residents recently? And if selected as LA County Sheriff, what would be your top priorities in addressing those concerns?
Well, Candace, it's much of what you just expressed. You know, they're concerned about public safety. You know, we have a sheriff that's telling everybody that crime is down, but that's not what people are seeing in their communities. They're still seeing these burglaries. They're still feeling unsafe. And if you Google it, what you'll see is nationwide crime is down. It's reported to be down. But what we really are seeing is a less reporting of crime. We have this huge thing going on with immigration right now where people are afraid to come out and report crimes. So law enforcement is kind of trying to take an advantage of that. Leadership is taking advantage of that, and they're saying crime is down. Well, it's really not. It's just not really, it's not getting reported. A lot of the burglaries, a lot of the thefts are coming from people that are on the streets, that are unhoused, that are homeless, people that are in mental health crisis, people that are suffering from addiction and things like that. And so we have to really change the way that we respond to those kind of calls. We have to bring in clinicians and behavioral health technicians. We have to bring in social workers. We have to create a strong co-responder model so that we can bring in the people that can handle those type of crises, but it's also going to free up deputy sheriffs to go and handle the public safety issues. And we just really need to get out there and be proactive. Here's what I think we're having right now. We have deputy sheriffs that are being forced to work 8, 10, 12 shifts of overtime a month. That means if you get 2 days off a week, you only get 8 days off a month, but we're forcing you to work more than that in overtime. Why? Because the administration has failed us. People are leaving. They're going to work for other agencies. They're retiring early because they just don't want to be there anymore. And that's putting a burden on the other deputies. Our deputies are mentally, physically, emotionally drained. They're depleted. So what kind of service are you going to get? Are you going to get somebody that's proactive, that's ready, that's out there? Or are you going to get somebody that's kind of parking under a tree and saying, I'll wait till the report call comes in and I'll go take it now? So there's a lot of factors that are going to impact how we increase public safety.
好，真的非常感谢 Eric 的分享。我们觉得刚才您提到这个社区参与，其实是很多华人家庭特别关注的事情啊。因为我们很多华人都比较低调，有的时候呢，即使遇到了一些犯罪骚扰或者说是诈骗的问题啊，也不一定会主动的报警。所以我想请问一下 Eric 啊，您觉得这个警方应该怎么做，才能够让更多的社区居民愿意去信任警方，去主动的沟通呢？ Eric, thank you for sharing that. I think what you mentioned about community engagement really resonates with many families in the Chinese community. Many people in our community tend to keep a low profile. Even when they experience crime, harassment, or scams, they may hesitate to contact law enforcement. So what do you think law enforcement can do to build more trust and encourage stronger communication with local communities?
Well, the first thing we have to do is we have to do true community engagement, not community policing, not PR work. And what I mean by that is we have to engage the community. We have to go to where every community is. We have to go and meet them where they are. We can't just expect them to come to us when they need to report a crime, when they have a question. We need to make ourselves available. The other thing we need is true community representation. Los Angeles County is one of the biggest melting pots in the country. We have so many various cultures and community and languages here. However, they're not represented. They're not represented well. And I'll tell you why. One is because we have what I call a discriminatory hiring practice or a quota. And here's what that looks like. If 10% of the county is Asian, then the leadership will tell you, oh, well, our department matches the demographic of the county. So what that means is when we get to 10%, we stop. Although there may be many more people that are eligible, that are qualified, that could be working in that organization because they're qualified people. And what I really think is we need strong representation. I think that the Chinese community needs people that speak Chinese, that can come and understand their culture, that can come and understand, you know, their concerns, their fears, and their issues because they have a shared experience. And that's one of the things that we're missing. And we need those that representation to be working in the right areas. And I ask this, in the community, the Chinese community, how many Chinese representative deputy sheriffs do you see working your community and engaging with your community? And I'd be willing to say it's probably not much. But this goes across the board in LA County. LA County has 4,000 square miles with 10 million people. We need representation. And we need also to engage with the community by making them know that it's okay. You'll be safe. You don't have to worry about any kind of fear of retaliation or even immigration issues if you come and report crimes. We have to get that message out. We have to engage. The department needs to be the one that goes out and reaches out and not simply just waiting for people to come to us.
好，非常感谢 Eric 的回答啊。其实现在还有个非常现实的问题，有很多移民家庭，尤其是一些新的移民啊，对警方还是会有距离感，甚至说呢会害怕和警察接触。有些人担心语言的问题，有些人会担心身份的问题哈，也有些人担心呢报警之后会不会更加麻烦。所以我想请问 Eric，您是怎么看待这个问题的？Many immigrants' families, especially newer immigrants, still feel a distance from law enforcement, and some are even afraid to interact with police. Some worry about language barriers, some worry about their immigration status, and others fear that calling the police would actually create more problems for them. So, Eric, how do you view this issue?
Well, I believe that this is a very serious issue. And as you just stated, Candace, the language barrier, it's what I was talking about, representation. We need that representation within the department. We need people that, again, have a shared experience, understand the culture, understand the language. But more importantly, what I want people to know is that under my leadership, immigration is not an issue. The Sheriff's Department will not look at your immigration status, will not be concerned about your immigration status, will not ask you about your immigration status. If for whatever reason you feel unsafe and you need to report a crime, you need to know that you can safely do so to the Sheriff's Department. Under my administration, the current administration that we have is kind of really playing a neutral role. They're not taking a stance against this. And what I want people to know is that you will be safe. You will not be asked your status. You will not be asked for any documents. If you report a crime, it will be taken seriously and it will be investigated thoroughly.
好，真的非常感谢 Eric 回答哈。还有一个问题就是生活中我遇到的，也是我们很多朋友说今天一定要问一下 Eric，那就是我们在开车的时候啊，经常可以看到在路上有些车上写的是 Sheriff， 有些车上写的是 Police Department， 那他们这两者之间到底有什么样的区别呢 ？Eric, another question is that could you please tell us what's the difference between Sheriff and the Police Department?
In all reality, it's a jurisdictional issue. The Sheriff's Department is the LA County law enforcement agency, and what they do is they patrol any of the unincorporated areas within the LA County. But we also have contract cities. So LA County has about 88 municipalities in it, and the Sheriff's Department patrols a little over 40 of those. And what it is the city has decided rather than having their own police department, they're going to have the Sheriff's Department, and they're going to contract. So, for example, Gardena PD or Monrovia PD or Alhambra PD, Montebello PD, these are cities that have decided to have their own police department and that are going to service their communities. The Sheriff's Department is going to also run the jails and the courts. So the Sheriff's Department is responsible for the LA County jail system, which is the largest jail system in the country. We also provide the judicial security, court security for the lockup within the courts. And then we have a myriad of other typical law enforcement responsibilities, investigative responsibilities. We have Aero Bureau, we have motor, which you see driving the motorcycles, which is mainly traffic enforcement. So it's primarily jurisdictional, but also the sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer in the county. So when there's a mutual aid, when there's the fires, when there's a major incident, the Sheriff's Department is there as a large agency to help with mutual aid and to provide resources.
好，今天非常感谢 Eric 的介绍哈。最后一个问题，如果今天有很多华人朋友正在看我们的节目啊，您最希望他们了解您的一点是什么呢？您最想对洛杉矶县的居民说的一句话到底是什么呢 ？Eric, for our final question, if families, young people, and residents across Los Angeles County are watching today, what would you most want people to know about you? And is there anything you'd like to say to the community?
Yes, I would like people to know that, listen, you have a say in who the LA County Sheriff is. It doesn't matter if you live in an area that has its own police department. It doesn't matter if you live in an area that's not serviced by the LA County Sheriff's Department. You're still in LA County and you have a say. You get to vote. Your tax dollars go towards the county. So please get involved. I think one of the most important things that I want people to know about me is that I care about people. This is my biggest thing. How do we serve people, every person, every culture, every community, every language? Everybody has their own concerns and issues. Listen, what people need and want from public safety, and let's say San Dimas, which is still in LA County, is not the same thing that people want in Malibu. And what people want and need in public safety in Malibu is not the same thing that they need in Compton or Gardena or Cerritos. So we need a customized service, and we need a customized response. The other thing is we need community involvement, community advisory committees, so that every community, every culture is represented and has a seat at the table to come and discuss these things. And that's what I promise you as sheriff, that you will have representation, you will have a liaison, you will have a direct voice to me. I will come to your community. I'll make sure that our people are in your community. You're already paying for the services that you get for the LA County Sheriff's Department. Your tax dollars go into the county, and they provide public safety. Even if you live in a city that does not utilize the Sheriff's Department, let's just say that you live in Montebello or Alhambra, you may go across the street and be in the Sheriff's Department area. You may get on the freeway and go to another city, and you're going to be in the Sheriff's Department area. So my point is, please get involved and vote. Right now, your local elections are the most important positions that are going to really, really impact your daily life. A lot of people think that on the national level, we have the electoral board, the electoral college voting system, where you don't think your vote counts. Local elections, every vote counts. A candidate can win by one vote. So please get involved, or else you're just going to get who you get. And if you get who you get because you didn't vote, then you really can't complain. So get involved, know who your candidates are, and vote. It's so important. Your voice matters. And lastly, I would ask is people just take a look at my website, strong4sheriff.com, strong, the number 4, sheriff.com. And on that website, I have an AI twin where you can actually speak and get some answers in any language. So I look forward to seeing you. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up on my email, on my social media. All of it is Strong for Sheriff, and I look forward to engaging with you.
好，非常感谢 Eric. I will talk with the AI twin later. Eric, 非常感谢您今天来到我们的节目，也非常感谢您和我们分享这么多的想法啊！我相信有很多观众今天也能够更加了解您对于社区安全、警民关系，还有未来洛杉矶县发展的看法。也感谢大家的收看，我们下期节目再见。Eric, thank you again for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with our community. I'm sure many of our viewers now have a better understanding of your vision for public safety, community relationships, and the future of Los Angeles County. And thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next time.
Thank you, Candace. See you.
Thank you, Eric.
My name is Eric Strong, and I'm running for LA County Sheriff. Los Angeles County deserves better. For too long, we've seen deputy misconduct, violence in our jails, and families forced to watch mental illness treated like a crime instead of a health issue. I've spent more than 30 years in law enforcement, holding the system accountable. I will bring in transparency in deputy gangs, work to expand mental health solutions, and rebuild trust between deputies and the communities they serve. My name is Eric Strong, and by Tuesday, June 2nd, vote Strong for Sheriff. Paid for by Eric Strong for LA Sheriff 2026.